Alright, another rant for the day. I'm just sharing all my thoughts in the day. That way I could just be like, I made a bunch of videos, put them out there. Like people, content creators say all the time, oh, you gotta make X amount of videos a day, right? Hey, keep me thinking, right? While it's still legal. So, dude, earlier, I saw one of these dead cameras in this casino. Right after I was talking about the Operation Smile thing that the dude tried to passive aggressively do, right? One of the dudes came to the betting machine, starts coughing behind me. And I was like, I want to make a video. I came to the conclusion, I said, I want to make a video about the MK Ultra gang stalking and the effects on relationships. Not just of the relationships of the targeted individual, but of the gang stalkers themselves, or the perps, or the green perps, or whatever, right? Where a dude came behind me and coughing, I'm like, what is his relationship to his wife if he has, right? I'm like, your wife, let's say you do have a wife. She either has to not know and that you're just going around like participating in harassing somebody, right? Maybe she doesn't know you're a Mason or whatever, a gang stalker. Maybe. Or she would have to be in cahoots with you, right? Or at the very least know, and she just doesn't want to address it, right? But I was thinking about like all of these dudes, they come with their couples. Like dude on the bus yesterday, right? He tries so hard to focus on me. I'm like, I see him with this girl, but he's got to be a flame bot. He's got to. Like he's trying too hard. It's like you can even hear it when he's speaking. It's like you seem like you got like the meth gay thing type going on, right? And I'm like, I don't get into too many relationships now, whether it's a friendly relationship or anything with anybody, simply because they're not to be trusted, right? As a targeted individual. I look at it from a whole Truman Show perspective, right? His wife was advertising mid-show, right? And you have to understand what that means. You could get with somebody whose whole purpose is to participate in a humiliation ritual for you. That's what Truman was doing with that girl, right? And I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, that's currently like my situation. But then I was looking at the other side. I'm like, does she the one who's pretending to be his wife actually have a husband? What does she consider herself in relation to Truman? Does she consider herself just an actress? Right? Is the marriage real to her? Of course not, because she's like, I don't know, she didn't have to deal with this shit. Right? So you gotta wake up every day being delusional. Every single day. And then I'm like, for the ones who have couples, right, who are in a couple, who got a relationship. If your wife knows, how does she view you? Right? Because you're trying to support the humiliation and emasculation of a man, right? Which is making you focus on a man all day, every day, right? Dude who came up to the betting machine starts doing the coffee thing, and I'm like, you're so focused on harassing people all day, every day that you can identify me and know when to call. That means you got to be watching me at some point in the spectrum, or they just remote control, like NPC, type controlling you, and they just hit the cough button. Maybe I don't know. But I'm like, if it's the relationship way where it's like, yo, you have the choice to harass somebody, and you choose to focus on, like, I can't see myself going, yeah, I'm gonna go focus and I gotta go call for this dude so we could try to bring him down a couple notches. I can't see myself doing that as a man, right? If a woman is participating in this MK Ultra, she clearly supports the emasculation and humiliation of a man. Most women do. And then if she allows her husband, if she's with a man who's gonna do the same thing, if she's participating and he's participating, she can't look at you as a man at that point, right? That man has already probably been brought down a couple pegs, or he's probably been pegged, right? Because I'm sitting there wondering, I'm like, when you look on social media, so many women, they tell tales of, oh, I was with this dude, da 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 da. We broke up whole time. He went to go out with his homeboys whole time. He's really with his homeboys, right? Or they got some dudes got some secrets and they're dating them and they know they low key. And I'm like, but you still chose to date him. So I'm like, this goes back to that Greco-Roman culture and religion, where they, swingers and everything. Everybody's having these orgies and stuff, these homosexual LGBT orgies and everything in the past. Where you got to know at some point your husband was taking it up the ass, but just for political gain and political views, status and everything, y'all just with each other. Political marriages and all of that, keep just trying to show face. You see so many movies about it as well. King got married, but the whole time he's with another dude, or prince, same thing with the princess stuff. It's like this weird dynamic that they promote. And I'm like, relationships these days, what the? It's Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And it makes me think about how many dudes who aren't men is hand that I shake. I don't even want to shake anybody's hand, right? Where it's like, you're doing this, you're going to all the parties and stuff, whatever secret parties or clubs you're in, right? Doing all this debauchery and abominable stuff, and then pretending. If a woman has intuition, she would know that dude is pretending. The dude, especially the dude that she's with, if she's supporting him, harassing somebody, you're supporting the emasculation of a man, which means that her mental state isn't right because she would be attracted to dudes who are bullies, right? If she views this man as an alpha male who's trying to bully somebody, who feels that somebody who's not bothering him is inferior, then that goes to show her mental defense, right? And I'm like, how many of these people are there, right? So how do you form relationships, right? It's like when people be like, you can't trust nobody, but then they got a whole music video with all their homies in it, and the song is about not trusting nobody. Which one of those people are your friends? How did you make these connections? If I don't trust you, I really don't want to talk to you. Most people I question, why the hell are you even in my space? Right? You with a dude that you know is gay. How? How does the female end up with a dude that you know is gay? Or that you don't know is gay with all this intuition? Right? And it shows me, one, how fucked up the whole MK Ultra gang stalking thing is. The whole mental state of the world. And how is it healthier to be in a more solitary state or isolated state than to partake in society? Because if that's what society's made up of, if that's what you got to conform to, right? That's what the hive mind is. It's condoning this behavior. That's where you get the whole LGBT thing from. That's the majority, right? And that's what they're pushing, that agenda. Like, it's like when they say, I watch the Negro Ninja channel, right? He speaks a lot about like female nature, this, that, third. And it's pretty much to bring down the male. It's to go against nature at this point. Do I think that was the original intent? No. But let's say that in society, in the current day society, where Krishnamurti, even in the past, was like, it is no measure of great health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society, right? If she's with a dude who has status within the society, how did he get that status? If in order to be of status, you got to do something debaucherous or debaucherous, does that not click in her mind when she gets with the dude with the status, right? And again, same thing. A lot of these people are in true mature relationships anyway, getting cheated on. Like, I've seen so many posts about situationships and sneaky links and everything, and the girls are open about it now. They just tell on themselves, "Oh, you're not my little shit," and I'm just like, is that a result of this MKO? Because some of them have to know, right? Either you're participating, did you know you can't beat them, join them type of thing, or what? Are you just trying to combat loneliness? Like, I see so many women, right? So many over 30, single, this, that, third. It's like when you used to watch the MGTOW videos. She's what is it, low sexual marketplace value or whatever. Or like they try to make certain dudes out to be out for a high value males or whatever. But most of the women, they hit the wall. That was the term I'm looking for. And a lot of women would just settle, right? And what they're doing is they're settling for these dudes who have been emasculated already, who they can control, right? It's like even at the celebrity level, like when you see Ciara with what's his face. I know it wasn't Russell Westbrook, was it? But whatever football player dude was, right? When you see her with him, it's like the power dynamic is very different, right? She has to fall for somebody who's going to see her to be the light and stars and sun and moon that she believes herself to be, despite her past, right? This is why we go into this whole, don't dwell on the past thing, because you gotta genuinely believe people can change, and then they try to use that against you by not changing, right? But you're still supposed to believe people can change. You're supposed to see the potential that they could be, even though they're not showing the action, right? And I'm like, how are these people forming proper relationships? Like right? More and more people are depressed and stuff. I'm like, but y'all are supposed to be in these healthy relationships. You need relationship therapy on better health. That's what they're promoting and stuff. Or better health. And I'm like, I don't think society is supposed to be social right now. I think society needs to take some time away from society. Like when you get a society that's built on gang stalking people or gaslighting people, again, this is why I say fire and brimstone. This is where the world's coming to. You can believe in the Bible or not. I was telling somebody, like, yo, it could all be metaphorical. The fire and brimstone could just be our own technology just imploding on itself and just destroying us in the process. And what is that going to cause? Fire and brimstone. Imagine all the stuff that we put in the sky, satellites and all of this. So they say, if any of that explodes and causes a chain reaction, it is going to fall to the ground. Fire and brimstone. Start destroying shit. But it makes me, again, how are you forming relationships? The Bible tells you woman is going to lose the use for man, and man is going to lose the use for woman, and they'll start loving themselves, meaning the same sex. And I'm watching this shit play out in real time, mutilating themselves and everything. And I'm just like, the Bible seems to be pretty accurate. Is it safe to jump in a relationship right now? Right? I've seen so many dudes, baby mama drama. It doesn't work, right? I can't remember the last time I've heard somebody genuinely speak about a successful relationship, a happy relationship. Because they tell you, oh, you're not always supposed to be happy. That's a lie. That's a lie. I believe we're supposed to naturally always happy, but they've conditioned you to accept unhappiness. Right? You can stop and not go to work and do something that makes you happy. But what they're then going to do is they're going to apply pressure to you because you didn't go to work to drain that happiness. If you'd have continued on that path, you can stay happy. But they're trying to do everything so that you don't in order to push their agenda. I believe the natural human disposition is to be happy, right? Why wouldn't it? Positivity. Isn't that what they try to gaslight you with? Stay positive in a society that's trying to force you to be negative. If you're going to tell me to stay positive, that means there's a possibility to be positive, right? The concept of Jesus, whether you believe in the person or not, it's a spiritual concept where he's showing you the possibility and the potential of what you can do in the form of perfection, right? He's like, I'm coming as a man to show you that it can be done even in the human form. I got all these powers, but I'm coming to do it as a human. So it can be done. Now you got to strive for that. Are you a giver upper? Don't be a quitter, right? Now you know there's the path, but the other path just looks more appealing because you got your friends on the other path who don't want to onto the right path with you. So now you got a choice to make. Do I continue to move forward, or do I go back to the other way with my friends? Right? It's like you're starting at 100%, then you're slowly going back down to 1%, and then you get happy when you go back up to 5%, but then you were cool trying to go down to 1%, so now you drop back down to 3% because you want to feel like you're improving by going back up to 6%, right? Because now you've improved on the 5%, you went up a little bit, and they try to condition you and keep you in that same state. Same way drugs affect your serotonin levels and dopamine levels. All right, naturally, your brain is at 100%. They add stress. That brings you down to 60%. Now, you're going to add this pill instead of naturally letting you get back. Your brain knows how to add 40 naturally. But when it sees, right, if I got a straw in the cup, I can't add another straw. It don't fit. Something else added a plus 40 other than my brain. So the brain is going to go, I don't need to produce plus 40 no more. So now you got so used to being at 60%. When you get to 70%, you've been at 60 for so long, you're like, whoa, this grandiose improvement. It's not true though, because you were once at 100%. You just forgot what that feels like. Same thing with normalizing all these weirdo relationships, right? Bible used to tell you to stone all these abominations. Stone it. Why? Because it didn't want it to pervert anything else in the society. It didn't want it to spread out. So you stone it. You destroy it. You destroy what is not of nature. Now they're normalizing it. They're normalizing what's not of nature. And then they try to gaslight you to say, oh, yeah, it is of nature. We're born that way. No, you've been conditioned in MK Ultra with all of the stuff you see on TV. And even before that, right? You have some type of demon in you because you're trying to go against the order. Anytime you go against an order, it is a disorder. The New World Order is disorder. That's why I was reading from the Diagnostic Statistic Manual for Mental Health. Because that's the New World Order. It's disorder, disillusion, right? You got to be conformed to a dystopian society. That's where it goes back to you will be happy with nothing. You will own nothing and be happy. You won't even own your soul. Hence the Operation Smiles homeboy tried to passive aggressively put on the TV. Right? Trust me, I don't. Truman Show, no coincidences from the people that they put around you. This is why I say selective mutism. You don't want to talk to certain people because you know. So they try to make ways around it. So that's they try to force you so they can get information on that. Right? Again, I just got kicked out of the group meeting for the alcohol and the drug and alcohol evaluation. I'm not gonna sign up again. You kicked me out. I'm working now. So right, I'm not trying to build no extra relationships. Actually, my New Year's resolution is to remove certain relationships. But it just made me think about it, like all the retrospective relationships around me. I'm like, all of these are just fake. Like it's like you gotta instead of being a genuine person to people, you gotta be this therapist that doesn't care for each and every person around you. Where you half care, half don't. It's like nah, this is unhealthy. The way I see dudes and girls getting together, but they're both in the LGBT. One is on the low, one is forward. You feel me? Like right, I'm terrified of girls who got that threesome mentality. Because one, you need a whole nother level of unnatural stimulation. Then you got to deal with the competition that comes with it. It's like it's so much to it. It's so much to it, right? Right? The dudes behind me, super simps. They'll give their money. The dude was telling me they're giving his money to some other girls, and I'm like, have I helped females before? Sure. They've looked out for me. Sure. All right, cool. I stay to myself now, and by definition, I would be socially awkward for having a normal reaction to the dumb shit that they do that I just don't tolerate. Right? Same way, they want to see what they can get away with. Okay, remove the trigger. A female. This is why I say this. It's got to be a female thing, or at least they're going for these feminine dudes. Because in order to harass somebody and try to trigger somebody all day, every day, you got to have that feminine spirit that a female does, where they want to test you all day to see how much you like them. That's how weird they are. Right? And then they don't want somebody who's nonchalant, so they keep on trying to do weirdo shit. But then they don't want somebody who's too emotional. You feel me? You got to get the porridge just right with the harassment. Right? This is the perfect reaction that we want from it, that we can keep it in control. That's the story of Goldilocks and the three bears. In a sense, I'm pretty sure there's more darkness to that story, but that's the basis of it, right? In society, in this day society, you gotta let her be right. That means you're not the head. You ain't the head when you're letting her be right these days, right? Then they got this I'm the head and not the tail up, all right? And if a man's not supposed to let another man rule over him in a homosexual relationship, who's the head? It's supposed to be God first. You already removed him by being an abomination. Now who's the man? One of you got to play the role of the woman. Disorder, right there. You're going against the normal order again. That's why I said the New World Order is a disorder. Homosexuality was in the diagnostic manual. I think they said at 3 they kind of just left it vague. It's still there, but it's just like vague the meaning of it, right? So now what they're trying to do is normalize. Same thing with Matt. Pedophiles are pedophiles. Minor attracted persons. We're gonna glamorize the name and put it as parts. Try to tack it to the LGBT. And since that agenda is already going, they'll accept it. Negative. That is a disorder. That's death worthy actually. But if you're normalizing it, it'll happen, right? And now I wonder, like, so many dudes know, oh, if I have a daughter, like, I, I, how many dudes give up their daughters in these rituals and all of this stuff? Like, you think they be kidnapping people? Some of these parents just be giving up their kids. Like I said, they'll teach the same way they used to teach, or still do, teach kids to gang stalk and harass you. Those same parents would give up their kids if necessary. It's like when you see all this Justin Bieber stuff, and they're like, "Oh, he can't just do anything to get out. He got to sacrifice something, right? Whether he got to go blow somebody or something. I don't know. Some people trying to mask about he's a new father. This, that, that. I don't know. But even before he was a father, they were saying the same thing. They was talking about him and Diddy and all of this. The certain things you got to do for fame, right? It's like you got to do some debauchery, some form of abomination to fit in with this new world disorder. That's all it is. The new world order is just disorder. That's why there's a number of disorders increasing. They're just making up disorders like the selective mutism when you don't want to talk to somebody. It's same way. I'm pretty sure Usher gets a bunch of girls, even though they were saying like he had AIDS or whatever. And I forget who the other dude who had AIDS was before. Same thing. Girls are still sleeping with him, knowing that. Then they'll wonder, why do I have AIDS? Why is shit going wrong? just don't get it.